Alright, what is good everyone? Today we have another video. This is the Pixel 10a pre-release. Before it actually comes to the markets, I got it in my hands. Let's actually get into this Pixel 10a. This is Google's next gen budget phone, but as you saw from other videos, it's very similar to the last year's model. It's a smaller phone with an over 5000 milliamp battery, so that is nice. And if we unpeel this, let's try to do this gently. I don't want to ruin the packaging. Boom. Yo, this is a clean device. Clean phone. I really love the size of this phone in a day and age where everything is like Pro Max size, extra large. I think it's a little bit bigger than the base model phones like the S25 and the iPhone 17. But let's power this on and let's do a little device walk around. So very clean design. I love that the camera is flush, it's flat. Completely this year, the Pixel 9a. It was pretty much close, but it was still out above the glass. Now here it's flat. As you can see, it doesn't protrude at all. The sides, aluminum rails, it's a matte finish. It feels really good in the hands. And then you have your speakers at the bottom. Hopefully these speakers are good because they look pretty big. And your USB slot and your 2 buttons on the side. Google is still doing the power button on the top for some reason. I don't think they'll ever change. SIM card tray on the other side. You got your selfie camera. And bezels are a bit thicker than their flagships, but still really nice. So just a quick side note, Google's attention to detail when it comes to the design is pretty cool. I know other brands kind of do this too, but when you're setting it up, this is the green phone. So everything in the UI is colored with this green hue. Obviously until you change the theme and all that stuff, but it's a nice little touch. Green software for the green phone, and I'm pretty sure the other colors will probably match their colors as well. All right, so I didn't get to set it up last night because it had an update right out of the box as soon as I connected to the Wi-Fi. And then it took like an hour, so it was time for bed. So I couldn't set it up, but Pixel 10a is ready to go. I'm gonna start reviewing it, but I'm actually out here right now to take pictures. I wanna compare this Pixel 10a to the iPhone 17 Pro Max that I'm using to film. Let's go. Alright, so we're back. It's been about a day using the Pixel 10a, and it's been a good experience overall. It's very smooth when you're navigating the UI. It is a 120Hz screen. It's not LTPO. It doesn't go down to 1 Hz to save battery and all that stuff. But even without that, I feel like this phone is showing that it has pretty good battery life. This is a smaller phone. It's the same size as the regular Pixel 10, around the same size. It has the battery capacity of the bigger flagships. And like I said, navigating the device, it's not going to be a laggy experience or a slow experience at all. Pixels have been smooth for a while now, and the Tensor chips are underpowered for heavy usage. But in terms of your everyday life, you're not going to really have anything to complain about when it comes to smoothness and, people like to call it snappiness. You're not going to have any complaints or issues with those things. And then the cameras also seem pretty decent. You probably saw it in the camera comparison with the iPhone. These cameras are actually not bad. And I mean, that's not surprising either because this is a Pixel device. And honestly, I feel like Google kind of does a little bit of extra tuning when it comes to like weaker hardware. Like, yes, better hardware on the Pros and maybe even this one. We'll see how it compares against the 10. Maybe the better hardware is better overall, but I feel like Google kind of like puts in a little bit more effort into the algorithms when it comes to these, smaller, weaker sensors or budget sensors or budget devices, to the point where like it's a good point and shoot device, in your day-to-day. The only area where I can look at this camera and be like, oh, it's not a flagship camera or it doesn't look that good is in video. Video is not bad, but it's also not amazing on this device. So that's one area where I'm like, yeah, I can see the price segment of this device through its camera system. But overall, cameras are pretty good, and I'm honestly satisfied with what I get from this. If you're paying a lot less than the flagship, it delivers good results. However, I do think there are some other options on the market, especially if you're going secondhand, where you can get similar quality cameras, but a little bit more out of the device. But yeah, now I have a Pixel 10, so let's actually compare how they look side by side. These are, again, very similar sized devices. The Pixel 10a is a little bit bigger, if you can see right here. It just goes a little bit over the edge at the top. And then you have your SIM card at the top of the Pixel 10, whereas Pixel 10a has SIM card on the left side right here. where there's nothing on the Pixel 10 on that side. Bottom, it looks like they have the same layout, even the antenna line. I wonder about the speakers. We'll test that soon. And then you also have the same layout for the other side as well. And then, of course, the backs. So the Pixel 10 is rocking a shiny, glossy back, as you can see. Very easy to get smudged. Wipe that down for the smudge patrol. And then compared to the dual camera setup on the Pixel 10a, the 10 has a triple camera setup. But to be honest, is that zoom camera really worth the extra money? We'll see. But overall, similar builds on these devices. Now let's look at the screens. If you're looking at these specs on paper, the Pixel 10a actually seems like a pretty good deal when compared to the full price Pixel 10. What's wrong? Both are non-LTPO 120Hz screens, so 60 Hz to 120 Hz. Both of them have a peak brightness of 3000 nits. They both have fingerprint sensors, but the Pixel 10 does have an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, which means it's more reliable and a little bit more fast. So, you know, if I compare them in real time, slightly faster on the Pixel 10, but it's not a huge difference, to be honest. And then even in terms of the bezels, you can't really see it accurately because of the screen protector on the 10, but the bezels are pretty much the same. The screens are also exactly the same size. It's literally the same panel, just slightly different in terms of the protection, the strength of it. And then they both have HDR support on the screens, 24-bit, and there's not that much difference like I showed you. I did say the battery size is slightly bigger on the 10A. The 10A comes up to around 5,100 versus 4,970. Both of these are pretty good battery sizes for phones this size, and you can get pretty good battery life from both of them, but the 10A will be a little bit better. The 10A does have faster charging with 45 watts at the max, which is really nice. And then it only has Qi certified wireless charging, which is kind of whack. And then the Pixel 10, this is what kind of puts it above the 10A for me, in my opinion. Pixel 10 has Pixel Snap, which is basically MagSafe, so you can use a bunch of different accessories. And the MagSafe is just like, it makes the world go around, in my opinion, bro. It's just amazing. So many things you can do with it, so many different accessories like these things, wireless chargers, and then it's just a better secure connection when it comes to wirelessly charging as well. So MagSafe is nice. You do not get that on the Pixel 10a. If you got that on the Pixel 10a, I think buy this phone every single time before the 10, to be honest. So some other benefits with the Pixel 10 over the 10a, you do have USB 3, which means you're getting faster transfer speeds. And then you also have display out as well. So right now, this Pixel 10 is mirroring its screen to this external display right here because it's connected to that hub. So you have things like that. And then also you can enable desktop mode. It's experimental right now. It's not fully released. But when that does get released, Pixel 10 will have that. The 10a will not have that. Desktop mode basically allows your Android device to display a PC-like experience on the external screen. So you're missing out on stuff like that. But to be honest, the kind of person that would consider both these phones probably does not care at all about USB 3 or display out, stuff like that. Maybe display out for, like, you know, presenting something at work or something like that. But I feel like most people probably don't work off their phone like that and use these kind of features. If you're especially if you're considering the base model Pixel or the 10a. Honestly, outside of that, you're not really missing out on too much. But there is the camera, right? The Pixel 10 does have a third camera. It does have that zoom camera. So how do these cameras compare to each other? Stay tuned for the next video where I will cover that more in depth. But for now, this is your look at the 10a against the 10. And, you know, just the beautiful design that Google has put out. I know it's basically the same phone as the 9a, but either way, it's still a really good device, even with the Tensor G4 chip. And I'm somebody who doesn't like Tensor that much. I don't really like Pixels that much, but I still think this phone is actually pretty great, even at the price. One thing that I have an issue with, though, is the storage options. I can't believe Google and Samsung are still offering 128 gigs in 2026. Like, it's pretty ridiculous. I actually couldn't install multiple games on this device. I have to delete some games to install other games to test them because 128 gigs is not enough. So that's one thing I hate. But other than that, I think this is a great device to look at in 2026. It does have 7 years of software updates, just like the other Pixels that came out last year. So you can potentially keep this for the next 7 years, although it is a more budget device. So how long will it last and be smooth? Only time will tell. If we're looking at Google's track record, I think even the Pixel 4 is still pretty good to this day. It doesn't have updates and stuff like that, but it is really smooth. And the Pixel 5s, honestly, all the Pixels of the past are still pretty smooth software-wise, and you can reliably use them as your phone. So this could last a long time. And I think it is a pretty good option for a device that's under $700 Canadian. before tax. However, there are other options, but we'll talk about that in another video as well. So stay tuned for future videos. Until then, we out. Peace.